Welcome back. I am theundj, and this is Confessing Lies or Telling Stories. Home of the truth, home of the critical thinkers, home of the open-minded. That's us. Feel free to sub up, join the squad. You ready? Let's get started.
So they coming up with a new prison that allows inmates to serve years of their sentence in just a matter of minutes. So the criminals is going to have a choice to spend tens of years behind bars, or they can make the choice to get the artificial memory implanted into their brain. So this process is called Cognify. And the intent of it is to treat the criminal like a patient. They're going to try to change the person's brain chemistry. After this process, when they re-enter society, they will be new and reformed, and they won't even be capable of committing any other crime. The chip can make the patient feel empathetic. Depending on the severity of the crime, the chip can also make you feel the emotional and physical pain of the victim and the family members. You can feel what they felt. So the process only takes about 7 minutes. But to the patient, it seemed like it had been years. Last year, the U.S. government spent $8.7 billion taxpayers' dollars on the prison. They say with this new prison, they can save money for health care, education. Also, they feel that it will be so many reformed people that doesn't commit crimes. Y'all leave in the comments and tell me what y'all think about this. Do y'all think this is actually going to work? Or do y'all think that they're creating something that they don't even know that they're creating? Y'all leave in the comments and tell me what y'all think.
This is a tough one. Do you lose time, years and years of time, living hard like an animal? Or do you take the risk of them messing with your wiring? That's a big one. I don't know about this because even virtual reality, you've seen them doing those little plank walks. They'll jump through their own wall. They'll hurt themselves. They'll jump through the TV. So they can make you experience it for real. But letting them inside your head like that, voluntarily, and we know they love inmates when it comes to experiments. I just don't know about this. How about we just don't do the crime?
All the way over. This is Mr. MBB333 and fans. I have to say this is probably the strangest thing I've seen in 50 years caused by nature. My phone doesn't even capture the entirety of it. It's amazing.
It's crazy too because it's a double rainbow. Bro, it looks like a ring of fire. It's crazy too because it's a double rainbow.
I actually played two separate clips back to back. The first clip was from a guy in Texas. And then the exact same thing that was seen in Texas was also seen in Michigan. And that's where the second clip came from. We all know that everybody doesn't tell the same lie. This is clearly the same phenomenon in two different states. That's crazy.
You should be very concerned about some of the privacy features Apple just turned on with its latest update. Let me show you what they are and how you can turn them off. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is go into settings, scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on privacy and security. Once you're in privacy and security, you're going to scroll all the way down and you're going to click on Apple Intelligence Report. This sends all your information back to Apple, everything you do, text messages, location, everything. Here you can set it to report every 15 minutes, every 7 days, or I recommend totally off. Okay, next we're going to go back to privacy and settings, and you're going to scroll all the way down, and you're going to click on analytics and improvements. Okay, once here, you're just going to want to make sure that you have all of this turned off. There's no reason that you need to share this information with Apple. Okay, we're going to go back, click on Apple advertising, and just make sure that personalized ads is turned off. This will make sure that Apple does not get any of your personal information to send you targeted ads. Okay, last, while you're still in privacy and security, scroll all the way up and click on tracking, and just make sure that allow apps to request to track you is turned off.
I included this clip because I need you to understand that these Apple updates, they always talk about bugs and fixes and, cosmetic things. And that's all it's really about. Very rarely are there updates, something serious. But you have to understand, we lose patience quickly. If we do something and you keep undoing it, 8 out of 10 of us would just stop trying to do the thing that you keep undoing, just let you have it, especially if it's not bothering us. Every single time you update your phone, that big long thing that none of us really read, part of that is saying they can switch on the features that they want to switch on, even though you had them turned off. That's why they keep putting out so many updates. When enough of us turn the things off that they're trying to look at, they do an update. Reset everybody, get some more information, we shut it off, they do an update, turn it back on, and the cycle just keeps going. So don't get tired, don't get complacent, don't lose patience. Go on your phone, and every time you update it, return everything off, because they did turn it back on.
I'm about to go get my money back. Look. Bro, look at the pump, bro. I'm not pumping. Babe, look. I'm not pumping. Look, I'm not pumping. Yeah. They agree.
Don't get too complacent with your everyday activities. That is where they hide things like this at. Most of us put the gas pump in the gas tank. If it has an automatic click, we put it on, and we either jump on our phones or we just sit there and wait. But we don't want to hold it. Why? Because, everybody's been touching it. It's nasty, blah, blah, blah. What happens if something like this isn't set to go off until after you pump about the first gallon? And then it just keeps coasting. Whether it stops or not, how would you know? Sometimes it'll click and stop. But every now and then, just be there. Be active. Stop the pump. See what happens. Start it back up. If gas prices are going crazy, then we need to focus on gas prices and gas stations.
They're swapping fake ice cream and real ice cream. This disturbing clip exposed a sneaky tactic Breyers is using to push shoppers into counterfeit cream.
Frozen dairy dessert, ice cream. Come on, what's going on?
Breyers didn't just replace the cream. They added something so much worse. Every frozen dairy dessert starts as antibiotic-laced runoff, pumped full of cheap corn syrup, then ripped through pressure tanks with the same gum used in fracking fluid. And that's nothing. That goop is injected with trans fat, dyed yellow with annatto, and inflated with compressed air until it physically cannot melt. Multiple flavors scanned hidden trans fats linked to heart disease. Comment exposure to scan safer brands.
I put this in here because, once again, it affects my diet. The extra creamy vanilla and or chocolate was my go-to. Thinking I'm doing well because it's one of the lower calorie ice frozen desserts because it's not ice cream. So now I can't eat it anymore. At least I'm not going to. If I have to lose Breyers, then anybody else who loves Breyers has to lose them too. Misery loves company. Sorry.
Check it out, family. 2026, I told y'all the veil is gone. These creatures popping out and showing niggas. Y'all think this a rare genetic mutation? Man, these people are either Nephilim descent or creatures or something we don't know about. But we seeing it with our own eyes, and y'all can't tell me this shit ain't shocking. Because this man here is a real heavy stepper. And when he grabbed that boot, Shit took me out. But y'all let me know what y'all think and feel in the comments on Phone Grave. Shit is crazy.
I don't know what I was just looking at. Do you? Please let me know, because I don't want to think I just saw what I know I just thought I saw.
Cool. A woman walks behind you, and it looks like she fully disappears. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Watch this video. This is real. Take a look at this.
For you tonight. Philip Seymour Hoffman winning for Best Actor for a Drama. Oh my God, that is my mom. That is my mom.
Wait, what?
That's my mom.
Wait, let's watch it again. That's your mom, but what?
That woman with the dark hair
Yes.
is my mother.
That's
my
your mom?
Yes. Philip Seymour Hoffman winning. I've been looking for her for like the last 15 years.
You are the best. That is so funny.
That is very
That's your
strange.
mom?
That is fully my mom.
Oh, hi, Mom. That's so cute.
That is
Oh my God,
weird.
that's
Where did she go?
Let's not forget we're dealing with an actress, and a good actress. Is it me, or when he asked, did she recognize this woman, I wasn't convinced by her no. And then she turned on the actress and, acted her way through the scene. To be clear, the clip is not saying that that is what comes on your iPhone. This is actually a product that can be easily attached to your iPhone. So be careful who you leave your phone around, because it can easily become a second pair of eyes to your life that you didn't invite.
I'm like fucking scared. There is no one standing there, but there's a silhouette, like a shadow of.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are real. You real?
If you came here to kill me, clap your hands. Well, that wasn't clapping your hands, that was more like just. Okay, I'm sorry.
Going for a walk and I look up and I see my neighbors.
I may or may not have climbed up because there's no stairs. Oh fuck! Oh fucking shit!
Say it with me now. Nope. No. The people in the last clip, whatever happened to them, they deserve it. Why are you there? And I've told you all about just randomly recording things. This is how you get videos like this. Okay? Just mind your business.
Yeah, like, is this the Truman Show? I always wondered because it's so close to the Air Force Base. You know, whenever the eclipse happened a couple years ago,
Pretty short clip, so we run it back twice. Um, I don't know about you, but it looks to me like something's being scanned. Just swiping across, making sure everybody's here, making sure everything is going good. Just a quick little scan of the landscape.
I know their background. I've seen their documents. I know photos. I know places that they have been. I have seen the photographs of humanoids that are based in Antarctica.
This is the story of Linda Moulton Howe taking her longest-running Antarctica file public after decades of protecting sources. The premise is direct. She says vetted military, scientific, and contractor witnesses described buried structures and restricted operations under the ice, and she decided to document their accounts before age and loss erased them. The file she wouldn't close. Linda Moulton Howe built her reputation in standard broadcast journalism long before she became associated with UFO research. In the 1970s, she worked as a television producer and director in Denver, turning out investigations that depended on documents, interviews, and concrete hazards, including water contamination and radiation risks. That early work mattered because it trained her to treat claims as case files, not as entertainment. When she later described extraordinary testimony, she framed it the same way: verify the credentials, track the timeline, and keep the record clean. Her public turning point began in 1979 in Colorado, when ranchers, veterinarians, and local officials pulled her toward unexplained livestock deaths and reports of cattle mutilations described as unusually precise. She approached it like any other investigation, gathering field interviews and pursuing conventional explanations first. The result was the documentary A Strange Harvest, which earned a regional Emmy Award in 1981. That recognition widened her reach, and in her telling, widened her incoming pipeline too. Once you become the person willing to listen carefully and ask uncomfortable questions, people who have been sitting on stories start to test whether you will take them seriously. As the years went on, Howe has said the source pool changed. She still heard from civilians, but she also began hearing from retired personnel tied to military and intelligence systems, and from contractors who claimed they had touched pieces of classified logistics. A consistent theme in her accounts is timing. Many of these contacts, she says, did not come forward in the middle of their careers. They came forward after retirement, after illness, or late in life, when the professional leverage that keeps people quiet has less bite. When they spoke, she describes them as unusually detail-oriented, the way trained professionals tend to be. Job roles, procedures, and specific constraints offered without showmanship. This is where the Antarctica material enters her world, not as a single dramatic disclosure, but as a file built over years. She has characterized.
This falls under that category. Everybody doesn't tell the same lie. We know two things about Antarctica. Actually, three. First and foremost, they do not want us there. Second, there is something there. And third, there are multiple somethings there. Everything they feel we're not ready for or empowers them is there. Why? Because that's where you hide things you don't want people to find. You hide it in a safe. You lock it away. They're hiding it. They won't let us see it. It's very valuable.
We have a thunderstorm. We've got a lot of things happening today that could potentially limit our risk of severe weather later tonight. But if they don't change the atmosphere, then we're still primed for severe weather tonight. One of the limits, we have a thunderstorm. We've got a lot of things happening today that could potentially limit our risk of severe weather later tonight. But if they don't change the atmosphere, then we're still primed for severe weather tonight. One of the limits.
They who? I know, right?
Brazil just made an absolute boss move in UFO transparency and dropped the receipts on nearly 900 UFO cases. This is huge. So on May 31st, Brazil's National Archives released 893 UFO cases, to be exact, to the public. And we're talking about sightings from 1952 all the way up to 2023, complete with photos, audio recordings, witness drawings, detailed official reports. The files were originally set to drop on June 13th, but they went live early with no warning. And there's some seriously amazing stuff inside. So I've only cracked into it just a touch, and already it's mind-blowing. It talks about cases like the 1977 Colaris incident, where locals were reportedly injured by beams of light coming from low-flying UFOs. It was so intense that the Brazilian military launched Operação Prato, Operation Saucer, to investigate. There's also the 1986 Night of the UFOs, where 21 objects were spotted across southern Brazil, tracked on radar and chased by Air Force jets. So if you want to check it out yourself, there's a website you can go to. I'll list it right here. You'll need to register, but the docs are public. A lot of it's in Portuguese, but you can get it translated. Brazil just raised the bar. It's your move, Pentagon. Follow for more, because I'm going to be cracking into this.
Well, here we go. We're not the only ones so-called releasing files, which means whatever's going on, whatever this release is, whatever they're about to let us see, it's a worldwide decision, because we're not the only country that's releasing classified documents on UFOs. On a second note, people are going hard because of the video that was in the background, just all over the internet about these blurry footage, UFO footage, and then they feed it to AI, and AI turns it into a 4K, I guess, imagination kind of thing. It's just what it should look like or what it could look like. Isn't this what AI is supposed to do? This is how we need to be using it, to help clear things up, not blur things. So we see the blurry footage, yes, use AI to create a depiction of what it would look like if it was crystal clear. Great use for AI. Don't use AI to make somebody say something when they're highly influential that they didn't say and then cause chaos. Bad AI. The sky already looked a little crazy to me, and whatever sounds were coming out of it, whoever or whatever was making those sounds was not having a good morning. Digestive issues, I don't know, but that was not a pleasant sound.
So Meta just fired 1,100 people who exposed what they were doing with the Ray-Ban footage on 6 days' notice. Quick context, if you purchased Meta smart glasses, the footage you recorded, everything you saw around you got sent to a contractor in Kenya called Sama. 1,100 workers doing 10-hour shifts, sitting there labeling what was on your camera so Meta's AI models could get better. Back in February, Swedish journalists started investigating this matter, and the workers told them what they were actually watching. People having intimacy, people in bathrooms, naked, kids, credit card numbers, you name it. And last month, Meta cut their entire contract. This week, the Kenyan company Sama just announced that they're firing all 1,100 of those people. Some of them said that they'd already been forced to sit on their desks doing nothing for weeks while security tightened around them after the reports started coming out. Meta says that Sama didn't meet our standards, and Sama says they consistently met all standards. Read between the two, and the truth is very simple. The workers who told the public what was actually happening all lost their job and were fired. Now there's a class action lawsuit in California against Meta, and the UK's data regulator also opened an investigation. Every single part of this story is true, and nobody at Meta has answered any of this yet. The lawsuit is moving, 2 regulators are investigating, 1,100 people lost their jobs. And I'll be tracking all of this. Follow me if you want to learn more, because Big Tech is hoping you forget by next week.
So this is pretty easy, right? I mean, okay, so we start with the word drones. That is something we use for remote surveillance and or delivery. That's what we use drones for. And there's not a human required to be there to make it happen. Okay, where we walk around autonomously. We pay a hefty price for their glasses, we put it on, and now we're just walking around with their glasses. What are we? How are we not drones? Surveillance and or delivery. And we paid them to do it. A pretty hefty price. These glasses are not cheap. But they're stylish. And to get the oohs and ahs, everybody follows the same thing. My little glasses, oh no. Cheap, normal, old school.
Dave? Dave? Come in. Come here. Come here. Dave? Dave?
Who is it? Who's me? Aren't you at your friend's sleepover? Where are you?
Okay. Well, if the people are laying next to you and then you hear the exact person outside your door, don't leave. I say don't record, let's go. Wake them up. Hey, you're here and you're there. We need to do something about that. That's what you do. That last one though, that knocking and that hey, you're not gonna knock on my door like that for too long before let's just say I'll knock back way louder than you did. No. So, okay. I tell you what, these things know exactly who to mess with because they haven't ran up on the right ones yet. Some of us will overreact, and I'm one of them. Quickly. Hey, I got you. Hey.
Jesus Christ. Okay guys, well that's 2. Filming the ceiling I requested. Okay guys, well that's 2. Filming the ceiling I've requested. And that's a 3rd.
That's pretty good, I think, overall.
Any more?
It is, almost $80 right there.
What came through the portals with these 3 crosses? Oh! Bloody hell!
You tell me. I know there are places in the world where everything we thought we knew just isn't the same when it's there. You know, they call it gravitational pull and magnetic plates and all of that. I don't know. I would think, I don't think places like CERN did their research when they start throwing things into these rips that they make. It's coming out somewhere. And it looks like old boy moved into the wrong crib because it looks like he's CERN's dumpster. Let me know what you think. Well, I just checked and that's going to do it. That's the last clip. As always, we have a great time doing this. We learn a little bit. As for me, I get scared a lot, but I look forward until the next time. That's why we're doing it at least 3 days a week. I can't wait until I have to do it 5 days a week or even 7. Favorite part of my day. Anyway, I appreciate you all. You know I do. We're growing slowly but surely. The subs are always teaching me more, opening my eyes to even more content. And it helps out because I'm very closed-minded, very stuck in my ways. So those who help me look in different directions, see things differently, I appreciate it. Until the next time, I am the theundj. This is Confessing Lies or Telling Stories, and I'm out.